The American Civil War was well into its second year. The Union and Confederate forces had already clashed in numerous bloody battles. Antietam, Shiloh, and the 7 Days Battles had tested the resolve of both sides. Now, in December 1862, the armies would meet again, this time at a small Virginia town called Fredericksburg. In November 1862, President Abraham Lincoln appointed Major General Ambrose Burnside as the commander of the Army of the Potomac. Burnside, a West Point graduate with a reputation for bravery, was tasked with revitalizing the Union's efforts in the Eastern Theater. Under immense pressure to achieve a quick and decisive victory, Burnside devised a bold plan to march on the Confederate capital of Richmond by crossing the Rappahannock River at Fredericksburg. Gentlemen, we shall strike swiftly. We will cross the Rappahannock at Fredericksburg, seize the town, and press onward to Richmond before General Lee can muster his forces to stop us. But Burnside's plan, though bold, was fraught with risks. Delays in obtaining the necessary pontoon bridges to cross the river allowed Confederate General Robert E. Lee to anticipate the Union's move and prepare a formidable defense. General Longstreet, we shall hold this ground at all costs. The heights are our advantage. The enemy will come at us, but they shall break upon our lines like waves upon a rock. The Confederate forces, numbering about 78,000 men, entrenched themselves on the high ground overlooking Fredericksburg. Marye's Heights, with its steep slope and fortified stone wall, would prove to be an almost impregnable defensive position. Keep moving. We've got to get this bridge across, or we're sitting ducks out here. On December 11th, after days of delay, the Union forces began crossing the Rappahannock under heavy fire from Confederate sharpshooters. The town of Fredericksburg, with its narrow streets and brick buildings, became a battleground as Union troops fought their way through, eventually driving the Confederates out. But taking the town was only the beginning. Burnside's true objective lay beyond, on the heights where Lee's army awaited. Men, you know what lies ahead. The Rebs are dug in up there, but we have our orders. When the signal is given, we move out. Stay together, keep your heads down, and God be with you. What followed was one of the most tragic and futile assaults of the Civil War. Burnside ordered repeated frontal attacks against the Confederate positions on Marye's Heights. The Union soldiers advancing across open ground were met with a storm of artillery and rifle fire. Hold steady, boys. Don't waste your shots. Let them get close. The Union forces suffered catastrophic losses, with nearly 12,600 men killed, wounded, or missing. The Confederates, entrenched and well-prepared, inflicted heavy casualties while sustaining only around 5,300 of their own. The repeated assaults on Marye's Heights became a symbol of the futility and horror of war. General Burnside, our men cannot sustain another attack. The cost is too great. Realizing the hopelessness of further assaults, Burnside called off the attack. The battle was lost, and with it, any hope of a quick Union victory in the Eastern Theater. It is well that war is so terrible, or we should grow too fond of it. The Battle of Fredericksburg was a crushing defeat for the Union, one that shattered morale in the North and led to widespread criticism of Burnside's leadership. For the Confederacy, the victory bolstered their resolve, but it came at a heavy cost as the war dragged on with no end in sight. The battle also underscored the challenges that lay ahead for the Union in defeating Lee's army. Despite their superior numbers and resources, the Union forces had yet to find a strategy that could overcome the skill and tenacity of the Confederate defenders. The battle also underscored the challenges that lay ahead for the Union in defeating Lee's army. Despite their superior numbers and resources, the Union forces had yet to find a strategy that could overcome the skill and tenacity of the Confederate defenders. The Battle of Fredericksburg remains one of the most sobering reminders of the cost of war, a lesson in the perils of overconfidence, the importance of strategy, and the tragic waste of human life.